Hey everybody, today is May 26th and today we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin. We're going to talk about whether I think that the bullish trend has started to resume or whether this is just a dead cat bounce that will likely continue down lower. Before we begin, please read the disclaimer and you can pause this video before you read it. Okay, so this month has been pretty brutal. We had a more than 50% drawdown from the peak, right? And this is a lot bigger of a pullback than we did in the last cycle in 2017, but not as bad as the 2013 bull cycle, right, when we drew down 80%. Now, I talked about how in our last video, we were trying to form a bottom here, right? And we had a slight recovery. So the question is this going to follow through to the upside? Or is this just a dead cat bounce that will continue down lower, right? So I talked about at a bare minimum, we want to hold 30,000, right? Which we had held over here. 2 times we tried to come down, but we had a nice wick back up, meaning that buyer stepped in to push the price higher. 30,000 is a strong support level because this is a strong Fibonacci level, support level that we tested back in late January when we had our first major correction this year, right? And of course, now we're coming down here and we're holding it again. So at a bare minimum, I talked about this in our last video, we want to hold at least 30,000. But more importantly, we want to talk about the longer term moving average, which is this 200-day simple moving average, which is this blue line, right? I talked about how important it is to stay above this blue line in this bull run, because if you look at the past, right? We look at the past and our last bull market cycle in 2017, right? Actually, really starting from 2016 all the way up to 2017, this entire rally, right, to 20,000, we always stayed above the blue line, which is our 200-day simple moving average, and this is our long-term moving average, right? On the daily chart, we always stayed above the blue line. We did wick down here, but we didn't close below here, right? And so this blue line acted as strong support level, and as you can see, as the price became more parabolic, the pullbacks became more shallower, and it touched the shorter moving averages, right, instead of the longer term moving averages, and until it went completely parabolic, right? So right now what we're seeing is we saw a close below the blue line, which is not good, but there is still hope if we can reclaim the 200-day, this blue line over here. Right now it's over here, and we actually broke above 40,000 in the past couple hours right here, but we were rejected, right? I told you that once we failed to hold these support levels, we flip them into resistance, and they're going to be strong resistance, right? Here we failed to hold the 200. So now the 200-day simple moving average, which is around 40,000 right now, that is strong resistance, and we're going to have a hard time breaking through, right? Another thing I talked about in our previous video is how past resistance tends to act as support when we break above it, but once we break up below, we tend to flip that support into resistance again. So in our first peak back in January, where we had our first correction, where we held at 30,000, around 40,000 as well here. When we came down to our 30,000 level on our second correction in mid-February, we ended up holding above this line, right? Because when we came down, what used to be strong resistance over here tends to act as support, but now that we've broken below it, now it's going to be strong resistance. So we have 2 strong resistance levels that's going to make it difficult for us to break above 40,000, which is this blue 200-day simple moving average line, and the previous resistance level here, set back in January. So 40,000, I think, is going to be a hard level to break through. But if we can break through $40,000, that is going to be a key level to watch, because that's going to increase the probability that this bull trend is going to resume higher, right? Because right now, in the short to medium term, as long as we remain below the blue line, for the reasons that I just explained about how in 2016, 2017, we always stayed above the blue line in a bullish trend, we still have to give benefit of the doubt in the short to medium term to the bears, as long as we stay below the 200-day simple moving average line, right, over here. And we have to just assume that this is going to be a rejection that will continue down lower. However, if we can find the strength to break above the blue line, right, and stay above the blue line, then we have a chance to go up higher. And of course, if we can break above the 200-day simple moving average, the next major resistance level is going to be another strong resistance level, which is this Fibonacci level at 47,000, which we held as support for a couple months, but we finally broke below over here. So now we flip this support to resistance. So we have 2 strong resistance levels on our way back to all-time highs, which is 40,000 and 47,000, right? This 200-day simple moving average, also previous resistance, and also 47,000, which is our Fibonacci support turn resistance area over here, right? So that's the short term, medium term. As we try to break above 40,000, I am turning more bullish. However, I want to see us cleanly break a strong break above and stay above, right? And then we'll have a chance at attacking this next resistance level, which is the Fibonacci level. Of course, another bearish indicator is this trend, is this cross of this moving average. Now that we have the 50-day crossing below the 100-day, it's not as bad as these moving averages crossing below the 200, because that's the death cross, right? So we don't want to see the 50 close below 200. But for now, we still have a chance. There's still a chance that this can go up higher. Obviously, we just got rejected, and as I'm making this video, it seems like we're coming down lower, but the day isn't over yet. There's still a couple hours until the daily close, so we'll see, and we'll definitely follow up in the next couple videos. But yeah, let's look at some of the indicators. So we didn't really talk about this in our last video. Obviously, we're in a downtrend, right? While the price was moving up over the last couple months. So that's a bearish divergence, and that predicted this. I was optimistic. I was hopeful that we could reverse this trend, especially during this area. Unfortunately, when we had green, some sort of positive momentum, but unfortunately, we weren't able to hold that. So it looks like the bearish divergence was fulfilled, and we ended up crashing up lower, right? Same thing with the RSI, right? Increasing price over the last couple months, followed by decreasing RSI, also a bearish divergence, right? So that was something that predicted that this downtrend would happen. And of course, me being an optimist, I was hoping that we were able to find the buying momentum to push up higher. But unfortunately, we collapsed down lower. Now, the good thing is that we're actually oversold over the last couple of sessions, right? So it does seem like we are getting a relief rally, but we want to see this continue higher, right? And break this downtrend that we've set over the last few months, right? And get us out of this bearish divergence. And we want to reverse the trend now to the upside, right? Now that we've reset the oscillators to below neutral, we want to work our way back to 0 for the MACD, work our way back up to 50 on the daily RSI, and push up higher into bullish territory, right? And reverse this trend, because as we're talking right now, it looks like this rejection of 40,000 is pretty strong. So the bears are coming in, they're trying to short this thing. Hopefully we can find some support and make it like a nice wick and push up higher. But what I want to see is a clean, strong break above the blue line. Now, let's look at the fear and greed index. 22. Our last video, it was 10, right? So we are making some improvements. It does seem like there's more confidence from buyers now coming in, and hopefully we can move this up higher, at least towards neutral, right? But really what it says is that we have a lot of room to run until we start getting overbought, and that could give us a lot more. It can make the ceiling a lot higher before we start hitting resistance. But obviously we do have these moving averages and the Fibonacci resistance level as our near short to medium term resistance levels. Okay, so another reason why we had a nice bounce recently, besides the technicals of being oversold, and is Elon Musk actually starting to slightly change his stance, right? Obviously, one of the biggest reasons, the catalyst why the market tanked or 50% was Elon Musk saying that he wasn't going to accept Bitcoin as payment for Tesla cars. And one of the reasons why he said that was that he felt like it wasn't environmentally, he thought that Bitcoin mining wasn't environmentally friendly, right? It was using too much, it's wasting too much energy and burning, it's not using clean energy to mine, right? And polluting the air and stuff like that. So now that he's working, he basically said he's working with American Bitcoin miners, North American Bitcoin miners, right? And actually Michael Saylor said that he hosted a meeting between Elon Musk and the leading Bitcoin miners, right? Some of these are publicly traded companies, right? Like, of course, my favorites are Riot and Marathon. So it looks like they are making progress towards doing more sustainable Bitcoin mining, right? Which a lot of it is already like sustainable, but I guess they want to like really create a standard that's like make them publicly accountable, right? I guess, and that's ultimately this will probably be good for the public image of Bitcoin, because one of the bearish arguments is like, oh, Bitcoin uses a lot of energy and it's not clean energy. So I do think that, especially if Elon eventually reverses his decision, I do think that Bitcoin will have a huge pump up higher, right? But so those are some of the fundamentals that's driving the market bounce. But right now, obviously, we're starting to see a strong sell-off right now, in the last couple of minutes, right? So this level for 40,000, that's a strong resistance level that I want to see us break strongly above, right? For me to turn bullish again. Yeah, so I just want to end this video talking about the bigger picture, right? In the bigger picture, we still are in an uptrend, right? As long as we don't break below these moving averages, or these moving averages don't cross, right? Because even in this whole bullish move from 2016 to 2017, we always stayed above at least the short-term moving average, which is the 50 simple moving average on the weekly chart. It wasn't until 2018 when we entered our bear trend that we actually broke below, and that signified that we were in a bear market. So as long as we're still above the silver line, we still have a chance at going up higher, right? And this could end up being just a big corrective movement in a larger uptrend, which is what I think. I still think there's a good chance, a high probability that Bitcoin will end up over $100,000 by the end of this year. It's just we don't know the exact price action movement that it's going to take, the direction that it's going to take to get there, right? And that's why trading is so tricky, especially if you're using leverage, right? So always be careful when you're using leverage. Of course, in a monthly chart, we talked about this in our previous videos. Let me just get a clean chart for you guys. We've had, right now we're seeing 2 red months, right? I talked about this in a video back in March and April, how we were having 6 consecutive green months, right? I wanted to see at least a red candle in April or May, and it looks like we're getting 2 red candles now, which is actually not a bad thing. I mean, considering that we had this huge run up from October to March, right? I don't think that 2 red monthly candles is that bad it's not that bad, right? I mean, let's compare this to the last 2, 2017 and 2013, which we had our big rallies, right? 2017 we had 3 red candles, no consecutive red candles, right? Over here we had 2 consecutive red candles, but look at this. These 2 consecutive red candles over here were preceded by 6 green consecutive monthly candles, right? Similarly, we have 6 consecutive green candles followed by 2 red candles, right? So it is possible that we are following something similar to 2013 movement, where we'll have two tops, right? A short-term top mid-cycle and a final blow-off top over here. So will we see something like this, right? Personally, I think that's what I think will happen, basically. Obviously, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, and we just have to take this day by day. But I just want people, I know a lot of people are scared right now. People have lost a lot of money on this correction, right? 50% plus correction, that's a big correction, okay? Even in crypto. So, but I just want people to know that in the bigger picture, we are still bullish, right? In the longer term picture, we are still bullish. But at the same time, I don't want people to think that, hey, this is going to be easy road up, right? Because in the short to medium term, we are still bearish. Right now, we are rejected from, we try to stay above the blue line, which is our 200-day simple moving average, 40,000. But we are, as I speak, getting rejected right now. So what I want to see going forward, I want to see us break above the 200-day simple moving average. I want us to break above strong and stay above. And then for me, I will flip super bullish, right? I'm still bullish in the long term, but in the short to medium term, neutral to neutral bearish, right? I mean, we just have to go based on what the chart is telling us. And right now, there's a lot of bearish trying to short this as we try to break above 40,000. But hopefully, there's more developments from Elon's and the fundamentals in crypto. And I do think that as long as we hold 30,000, as long as we don't break below 30,000, because I think if we break below 30,000, we're going to go down to 20,000 and definitely going to be in a bear market. But we still have a chance, right? Yes, we still have another resistance level at 47,000, this Fibonacci resistance level. But before we think about that, we still the most important thing right now is for us to to break above and hold above the 200-day simple moving average, right? This blue line, right? So that's what I want to see over the next couple sessions, and we'll definitely update you guys going forward. Again, if you have lost a lot of money, if you are scared right now, just zoom out and look at the bigger picture, right? I just want to reiterate this because I know there's a lot of fear right now. There's a lot of people losing hope, but just keep in mind that Bitcoin over the long term will likely go up higher, right? And the fundamentals haven't changed at all, right? Bitcoin is still the same asset as it was 3 months ago when it was at, or a couple months ago when it was at all-time highs, right? This is just a short-term pullback, in my opinion. will likely go higher, but it's not going to happen overnight. We will likely have a hard time breaking through, maybe go sideways, right? So be patient is all I'm saying. Be patient and don't stress out too much. Remember that fear is generally a good time to buy, and yeah, don't panic, don't make any rash decisions, and take care. I know there's a lot of forums, people panicking, people have lost a lot of money. Take care of your mental health if trading is affecting your mental health, and that matters more than money. So I just want to like reiterate that point. But yeah, just to summarize the technicals, I will update you on going forward, and hopefully we are able to have a strong break above the 200-day simple moving average and hold above, and I believe that will signify that we are back on, the bull market is back on, and will continue up higher. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and subscribe for updates. I appreciate all your support. Thank you again, and have a great day.